You know, with me being a die-hard martial arts fan, you would think that I would be super duper excited about this movie, but for some reason I wasn't. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to my opinion/review for Mulan. I really do appreciate it. And if this is your first time finding me and you want more movie reviews from myself, please consider subscribing. And if you like the video, go ahead and give me that thumbs up because it does help out a lot. Mulan is a film that should have been in theaters as well, but unfortunately it is not. However, it is available to you for streaming on Disney+. It's being directed by Niki Caro. And when I first heard the name, I was like, okay, who is Niki Caro? I don't think I've ever heard of her before. But when I looked at her filmography, she did do The Zookeeper's Wife, which I did not see. If you have seen it, please let me know below. But she also did McFarlane USA, a film that I did see. And I really did like that film a lot. I think the year that it did come out, I was like, this is actually one of the better films, or at least one of my favorite films. So she has some talent there. It's quite interesting. I believe there's a lot of controversy on this film. I haven't seen any other review, but I have seen titles and thumbnails of like, everybody stay away from Mulan. Watch this movie more than Mulan. This movie gets it right, Mulan doesn't. So I'll get into that, after this review. But it was supposed to be, or they wanted Ang Lee to direct the film, but I don't believe he could do that because of scheduling issues. Now, I'll just go ahead and say, guys, that I really did like this film. I've seen it, of course. I also did see the 1998 original animation, which, came out in 1998. And one of the things I liked about it is I liked the 1998 film, and I thought that this was a really great adaptation of that film without being a carbon copy. Now, the cast in this film is great. We have the titular character Mulan, played by Ye-Fei Liu. If I did not pronounce that name correctly, please forgive me. And up until the film came out, I was like, man, I didn't look up anything. I was like, where do I know this person from? I think I've seen her before. And she actually showed up in The Forbidden Kingdom, which came out in 2008 with Jet Li and Jackie Chan. And she did a decent job in that movie. The martial arts was great, but everything else wasn't. But she did even a better job in this right here. The Disney production did around, well, they said they did around 1,000 auditions to fulfill this role. And that may be the truth, but they chose her, and she actually did 90% of her stunts that I found out. And it shows in this film. And I think she did a phenomenal job. Her character Mulan is great. It was great in the animation. It was even better in this live action adaptation. Early on in the movie, when we're getting to know everyone and they're setting up the tone and the pace of the film, I was kind of saying to myself, okay, Mulan, you kind of bad now. You need to sit down and get your butt whooped. But at the same time, I did appreciate her character because she was just so bold and daring and just wanted to express herself and live her life. While this film does with Chinese culture, which I am not too familiar with, and we're going to get into that. She didn't want to conform, to the lifestyle that, that she's supposed to be accustomed to. She just kind of wanted to branch out and do her thing and not just fit into this mold that her Chinese society wanted her to fit in. And I can always respect that. With any character, with any person in the world, within any culture, just people just kind of being themselves and just wanting to reach their full potential through their own way. And there are a number of other familiar talents in this movie as well. We have Jet Li. It was nice to see him. Donnie Yen, I'm a big fan of his. And also Jason Scott Lee, who played Bruce Lee back in the 90s film in Dragon, the Bruce Lee Story, I think is the exact title. I was a bit disappointed with the appearance of Jet Li. I mean, it's Jet Li. I thought that they could have used his character and his talent a lot more. And it's funny because he also wanted to turn down the film because he didn't like the script and the pay, but his daughters talked him into it, just kind of expressing to him how important it is to display, Chinese culture around the world. And that's kind of what made him step in. But Jason Scott Lee as the villain, Boro Khan, it was a bit comical, but not over the top goofy, but I liked it. He was still a threat when, he popped up on the scene, he put his foot down. I was like, okay, we got a worthy bad guy right here, a worthy villain, that seems quite threatening. And, I think they did a great job there as well. As far as Donnie Yen is concerned, like I said, he played Commander Tong. I'm a big fan of Donnie Yen. I haven't seen every film that he's been in, but You know, I love martial arts. Donnie Yen, you know, is great in martial arts, and there was, you know, sprinkles of his martial arts talent in this movie. However, I wish that there could have been a bit more. They didn't, I mean, it's Donnie Yen, you know, they didn't use his character that much, but we did see some martial arts from Donnie Yen, and he is not the only person that displayed the martial arts in this movie across the board. I thought it was great. They could have gave me just a little bit more, but overall I was satisfied. And I think that's also because I went into this film with low expectations. Also, to be honest with you, while I am a fan of Jason Scott Lee, Jet Li, and Donnie Yen, I did not even know they was in the film until I saw it. I was like, oh snap, that's Jason Scott Lee. Wait a minute, Jet Li in this thing too? Donnie Yen, what's up, my boy? Okay, we in here. So that really did surprise me. And it's kind of funny because when they first started the promotion for this movie, I was into it, but with the first trailer, but the second trailer, I don't know, for some reason it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I just lost interest. Now, if you've seen the 1998 animation film, you know Eddie Murphy played the dragon of Mushu. Now, he is not in this film. I'm kind of glad that they did not include that in this live adaptation. I think that would have made it a bit too over the top and silly. However, they did use a phoenix to kind of give some representation there, and I did appreciate that. I mean, you know, the phoenix is supposed to mean peace and prosperity, and just with, you know, the whole Chinese culture itself, it's just something that I'm not familiar with. I've never been to China, and the only Chinese culture that I'm familiar with is martial art movies, and I know that it expands much further than that. But I grew up loving martial arts and watching, you know, Chinese movies a bit more than the average person, especially more than the average black person in America. And from the little bit that I learned from there, things did seem accurate, but I could be completely wrong. I also did like the wardrobe in this movie, the costumes and the set designs. I think they actually knocked that out of the park. I love the training montages. I thought it was really cool. There was a sequence where, you know, the troops that were with Mulan, they're having to go up. You can't see my arms right now, but they're having to go up the stairs holding these buckets right here, and that is straight out of the 36th chamber of Shaolin that came out in 1978, I believe, a Shaw Brothers film. I love all those the Shaw Brothers films. The only difference is in that film they had daggers under their arm to kind of motivate them to keep their arms up and strengthen their arms and not stab themselves in the side. You know, they didn't include that, and that's perfectly fine. That's just kind of like a little Easter egg there. But I love training montages and things like that. It really does get me excited. I love people growing physically and mentally, and that is something that was a center theme in this film as well that they did a great job at too. Now, in the 1998 film, I don't want to call it a musical, but there were some songs that were sung. That's not in this film. I'm kind of glad that they didn't include that as well. It could have came off as corny and cheesy, but you know, the music was still there, and I think it was still beautiful. You know, so just another thing that I liked about this movie, and also like the color palette, the cinematography. It was just like a beautiful film to look at. You know, the colors really did pop. Pretty much, you know, really everything popped in this movie. You know, and I mean, overall, guys, I just really did enjoy it. I mean, you know, I love that people were just sticking to their guns. Honestly, guys, there's not much that I can complain about in this movie. Well, actually, there is one thing. One of the main themes that made Mulan stand out in this movie was her chi. Every living being in, you know, known existence has chi flowing through their body, eternal energy. But, you know, if you're trained enough and you know what you're doing and you have that mental attitude, that mental fortitude, you can kind of channel that at will. And the way they handled it in this movie was 50-50. At one point, I was kind of turned off because I'm like, okay, y'all are kind of treating this like this is the Force off of the Star Wars, which in my opinion is not accurate. But at the same time, later on, the way they fleshed it out, I did appreciate it. But that's just a little knock there. But overall, guys, I really did enjoy this film. When it comes to buying home entertainment media, I'm still one that buys the physical disc because the video and audio quality is still always better than a digital copy. And I just say that to say, because I like this film so much, if it is released on disc, I will be buying it, you know, on 4K Blu-ray. But guys, if I had to rate Mulan out of a 1 out of 10, I would give this film a 9 out of 10. Yes, a 9 out of 10. But guys, that is just my opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you liked the video, please go ahead and give me that thumbs up. And also, please subscribe to the channel. I'm right around the corner from 25,000 subscribers, but I would really love to hit 30,000. And I can only do that with your help if you hit that subscribe button. You can also look me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All that good stuff, you see it right there at the bottom of the screen. There's also links down in the pinned comments and the description box. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget to always chase your dreams, because I'm chasing mine. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.